here with Cristina Carrasco, who is a fabulous Venezuelan film editor. And we're in New York, Central Park, which has been in all the movies, not all the movies, but a lot of movies. And I wanted to ask her, what do film editors do? Because I feel like people don't understand the kind of role that you guys play.
So, film and any audiovisual piece of work is created into little pieces, little portions. If you imagine a movie, it's shot in very small portions of that whole story. Editors, what we do is they go to shoot and they record everything. Sometimes most of the times in a very random order, and then we get all those materials, which are most of the times too many or many of them, so many takes and repetitions of same things, and then we have all those materials. We select the materials. We get to decide, along with the director or directress, we get to decide which take is better or what portion is better. So we take the smallest pieces of each piece and we put them together in the order that the narrative needs to convey a story. I think that's what I can say.
Yeah. In my basic English. Not basic at all. You talked about how there's all these little bits of footage that are put together, and there's a lot of them, and you're going to work with the director to, sort of put them in a sense of the narrative. What role does the editor play in influencing how the story is told, shaping it?
So, the first thing I said was like it is I think the most basic part of our role is to select the portions and later on put them in a specific order. But what we also do is play with rhythm and time. The feeling of time in a film is all crafted in the editing room, because you can delay a moment or an action or an emotion. You can enhance emotions with that playing of the mostly time and expression of time. So that's when our role is not only telling a story, but also telling the story in a way that we want it to be more playful, or we want it to be faster, or we want it to be slower and more introspective, or So when we are in the editing room with the director or by ourselves, we also already are playing with that sensation of time and emotion and expressions, and that's mostly created in editing.
You and I worked on a documentary together called The Family of Stories, and with documentaries you have endless amounts of footage that you then have to put into a story, and you have to kind of find the story within all the footage, whereas with fiction you have a script and you're working from the script. So for me, I can't imagine having made that film without you, right? Like, it was such you're a co-creator of it. That story exists because of you. So how do you see your relationship with directors and the way in which you collaborate to sort of really shape what we see?
So that's a very constant conversation with the director, because our role is to try to take out all the ideas that are in your mind, and because our hands are sort of our tools to put your ideas into something, you need to squeeze the mind of that person and try to really indagar, like dig in on what are your intentions and what's the theme of your story, because the story has a storyline that goes from A to B, for sort of saying, but you have the idea which is underneath of what you want to tell the audiences, And that's a constant and really non-stop conversation, because in documentaries is also something that can change a lot and a lot and a lot, because you are finding the story within the materials. And it's a very difficult part, because you really need to have a connection that obviously evolves throughout the process with the director, and to be able to understand really, and to not only understand, but then after I think I understood what you're trying to say or what you want to say, to be able to put that into something with my, tools of doing it, and my way of doing it, and my creativity, which is very personal also. So it's a very constant and back and forth conversation, and it's always evolving until you find a good, light after the tunnel, and then you go after. And you stick to it.
What do you love the most about being an editor?
I like to be alone.
We just spent all this time talking about relationship with the director.
But I like to be alone. That's a short time that I just have to have a conversation, and then I said, okay, go to your whatever, and I'll stay here, and then I'll show you. No, I don't really know. I mean, I got into editing because that happened to me. Sort of saying, I was really curious about it, and the possibilities you have there. It's a very playful place. You can create whatever you want with a group of things, and I got myself into it. I really liked it. I didn't really feel fine in shootings because they are so stressful. It's not that post-production is not stressful, but shootings are so stressful.
Like being on set.
It's so intense. To me, I was like, oh, not really. And I really liked the technology behind post-production, and that thing of, getting a puzzle together and pieces together. So then I developed this oficio, like, my
Your
profession,
job,
my
your
job.
career.
I just went into this journey, and I really enjoy when I'm able to create something that is telling something to the world, that it's beautiful or important in terms of human behavior or human connections or life and expressions of life. And when I'm in there when I feel there's stories that are like that, I really enjoy it, and I really like it because it's also peaceful, and it's
Unless there's a huge deadline.
and this is a huge deadline, which is always there. But in the meantime, you get to have your moments, reflecting a lot, and there's a lot of reflection and intellectual work, which is really intense. But I find myself enjoying it. I like it.
There you go. That's what brilliant editors do. So, and if they do their job really well and you do, you don't notice it. You don't sit around going like, oh, they edited it this way or they edited it that way. You're just lost in the story. But you're women like Cristina who are making it happen for you. So let us know what you think. Do you notice the editing? Are you interested in becoming an editor? What are your thoughts on how this whole thing that we call movie magic is put together?